This class we are going to see the compound motor, that is load characteristics of DC compound motor. So compound motor has two field windings, one will be the shunt field winding and another one will be the series field winding. So this is your series field winding and this is the shunt field windings. So the series field winding has a lesser number of turns and it has thicker wire since it is carrying the full load current that is passing through your armature, and this will be the shunt field winding. This will have larger number of turns but area of lesser thickness wire, and it is proportional to the number of turns will be proportional to the input applied voltage since it is connected in parallel to the DC supply. And we are having two field windings so that we will have two field flexes. One will be the shunt field flex, another one will be the series field flex. So in compound motor also we will be having two types of connections. So one will be the cumulative compound, another one is differential compound. So in cumulative compound, both the flexes are additive in nature, that is the series field winding flex and shunt field winding flex are additive in nature, so that the total field flex will be added or increased when the load is increased in cumulative compound. So whereas in differential compound, both the flexes are in differential nature. So if the load is increased, the total flex will be decreased. So we are having two types of connections, there is cumulative mode and differential mode. So in cumulative mode, we are having the two flexes are additive in nature, that is phi SE plus phi SH, that will be the total flex. So for every increase in load, the load current will be increased. When the load current is increased, the series field winding current which is connected in series with the armature will also increases, so that IAC will increases, that is series field winding current increases, and hence the series field flex will increases. So for every increase in load, the series field winding flex will increase, hence both the flexes are additive in nature, the total flex will increase. So here we can derived by the relation that is N is inversely proportional to the total flex. For every increase in flex, the speed will be decreased. So when the load is increased, IAC will increases and hence phi AC will increases and total flex will increase, so that for every increase in load, the speed will be reduced for the case of cumulative mode. And in differential mode, the total flex will be the difference of both the flexes, that is phi T will be equal to phi AC difference of phi SH. Phi AC is the series field flex and phi SH is the shunt field flex. So here also when the load is increased, when IL is increased, the series field current IAC is increased and hence the series field flex will increases, phi AC will increases, hence and also here the phi T is the difference between both the flexes. The total flex will be reduced for every increase in load. So for increase in load, the total flex decreases and the relation between the total flex and the speed will be inverse, so that for every increase in load, the total flex will be reduced, so that the speed will becomes increases. So here for every increase in load, the total flex will be reduced and speed will be increased, so that it cannot be used for the practical applications. So in most of the cases, cumulative mode will be used in all the applications, but in differential mode, for every increase in load, there will be increase in speed, so that it cannot be used for any practical applications. So these are the two types of differential compound motors, that is differential mode and cumulative mode. கரண்ட் வரது சரி கனெக்ஷன் சொல்லிடுவோம்னா இல்லை சார் ஓட மாட்டாங்க. So this is the nameplate detail of the compound motor. So it is a 3 kilowatt motor and the rated speed is 1500 rpm and volt is 230 volts and the rated current is 15.5 amperes. and this is the connection that is from positive to, that is positive of 230 volt DC supply is connected to the L terminal of the 3-point starter. Here we are using 4-point starter, so it is connected to the L terminal of the 4-point starter, and the field F terminal of the 4-point starter is connected to the input terminal of the rheostat. So here we are using 640 ohms 1.2 amps rheostat, and the variable terminal, that is variable terminal of rheostat is connected to the shunt field winding F terminal, and the FF terminal, that is the shunt field winding another terminal, is connected to AA. So this is the AA terminal of the armature, and here the armature A terminal of the 4-point starter is connected to the voltmeter, that is 0 to 300 volts voltmeter positive terminal. From the positive terminal it is connected to the ammeter. So here we are using 20 amps ammeter since the rated current is 15.5 amps, and the ammeter another terminal is connected to the Y terminal, that is series field winding, one of the series field winding terminal Y, it is connected to the ammeter negative, and the YY will be connected to the A terminal, that is armature terminal, and the AA and the FF are interconnected. So this is the connection diagram for the compound motor. So here we can run it in both the connections, that is differential compound and cumulative compound. So in differential compound we can run, and whichever is running for the same field current which is having lesser speed will be the cumulative compound, and for that same field current which is having higher speed will be the differential compound. Starting the motor by means of DPSTS switch and by means of 4-point starter, we are starting the motor. Now the motor is running at a particular speed. We have to vary the speed of the motor. So already the speed is 1534 1532, so that we cannot vary, we have to vary the, or we cannot vary the rated speed. Already it is exceeding beyond the rated speed. So now we can take the no load reading, that is 240 volts and 0.6 amperes. So this is a no load reading. For no load, the F1 and F2, that is the input load, will be the 0 kilograms. So now we are increasing the load by tightening the brake drum. So for the tightening of the brake drum, the load in the spring balance is increased. Now the load is around 2 kg. So in another spring balance also we can increase the load. So by means of increasing this, tightening the brake drum, we can increase the load. Now the load is 5 kilograms.